All right. I guess this will be part three. I suppose we should call this a simulated emergency test between stations, amateur, emergency operation centers, emergency action centers, various counties here in the Commonwealth. And I'm going to tell you, even if they won't, this is a test. This is a test. This is a test. Once again, just days after the attempted assassination on Mr. Donald J. Trump, we are having a test with emergency operation centers, maybe emergency action plans on the MRA, other repeaters in the area, perhaps on HF radio. Oh, for God's sake, on HF radio, they are saying this is a test. Also, properly using their call signs.
Hanover EOC, Hanover EAC.
And I assure you, between the second video and this video, we missed nothing.
EAC, go ahead.
Message.
From the EAC manager to EAC workers, 11 o'clock, record digital dosimeter readings. Over.
What's a dosimeter? Does it dosiminate?
Copy.
On what scale? Is it twice the scale in Spanish?
N4SJL clear.
Or is it a Dozy brand meter?
Engine 6. Chest pain. 1700 Hampton Street at Maynard Park. Engine 6. Chest pain. 1700 Hampton Street at Maynard Park. Cross streets are Pennsylvania Avenue and New York Avenue. On tap channel 2. Timeout 11:03.
I wonder if he meant decimeter. Ooh, maybe it's a decimeter. I don't know what caliber that is. The decimeter. Oh, don't worry. This is the test. Move along. Nothing to see here. Oh boy. I wonder what Mr. Trump is doing right now. Huh. For that matter, I wonder what President Biden's doing right now. Too early for ice cream, isn't it? That's not it. That's not it. I'm expecting company today. They should have been here by now. But I don't see their written notification at hand right away. Is that it right there? Right there, right there. No. Gotta work on my filing system. Sound like some crane operations nearby. 464.550, I think. Not a bit surprised. Probably a great day for it.
Hanover EOC, Hanover EAC. Stand by for message. Copy.
Oh,
From the EAC manager, 11:05. We're now under a general emergency.
Engine 25.
Over.
Chest pain. 9101. Stony Point Drive at Virginia Neurology Center. Second floor funding. Room B. Engine 25. Chest pain. 9101. Stony Point Drive at Virginia Neurology Center. Second floor part 8. Room B. Cross streets are Stony Point Parkway and Dead End. On tap channel 2. Timeout 11:08.
once again, for the viewing audience, this is a test. I'm uncertain why that's not being stressed by anyone. I mean, even off the air, I don't know, but on the air, it doesn't sound like it. Yep, crane operations. I wonder where they are. Wonder what Zulu Tango Oscar is up to today. Bet he's working in a freezing cold office. It's about that time, isn't it? Yeah, he's probably on lunch break. He's not on the air, though. He might be over there on the parking deck catching similar video. Be interesting to find out if it's 146.490 simplex. Be in a pretty good spot. About 50 feet up in the air. If you're watching this ZTO and you have not done that, shame on you. You're missing out.
Engine 6 to Richmond. Do you have a better location for the patient? Are they at the Japanese Water Garden or at the Shields Lake?
Stand by. Let me see if I can get a better location for you.
Well, I'm not sure when, but they cleared up all the incidents along I-95 south of this location here, which is good. About a half dozen accidents on the southbound side. What a mess.
Agent 6 from Richmond.
6, go ahead.
Detailed location was right at Amelia Street between Shields Lake and Swans Lake.
6, copy. This is Caroline County EOC. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Operator KO4. Over.
Hanover EOC, Hanover EAC. Hanover EAC, go ahead. Message, 1113 hours. Bus en route to the EAC, 15-20 minute ETA.
Is that the same bus or a different bus? Did you reroute the original bus? You sending a different bus?
Over and Forest Jail.
How many occupants? Are you sending an empty bus? This is a test. For those of you that are wondering. Man, they stopped doing that like an hour ago, maybe longer.
That motherfucker scared the shit out of me. He jumped in so close to me, I thought I had his aim. They ain't shit over him, man. What the hell are you gonna do? He coming down so damn close, I thought he was gonna get the damn phone. That's why he scared the shit out of me. He damn close get crazy over here every day, I think.
You ain't lying, driver. You ain't lying. So far, so good on old Google Maps. Got green all across the area. I presume that's a good thing. Silence. It's not always a good thing. Portable 900 K4 ARX. Wow. Was that interference from the Pro 2052 on 11 meters? That's a sensitive radio. Then again, inside antennas, so probably every time. Coffee break.
Hanover EOC, Hanover EAC, message.
Message.
EAC, go ahead. Update on previous message from 1113. Message at 1118. Bus en route has 9 total occupants. 2 of those are transportation workers. 7 are evacuees. Copy. And 4 SJL clear.
Engine 12. Seizure. 400 North 8th Street at Federal Building. Engine 12. Seizure. 400 North 8th Street at Federal Building. Cross streets are East Marshall Street and East Clay Street. On tap channel 2. Time out 11:19.
There that is. That's downtown. Be right back. I don't see anything yet. How will you be done? Or spring whilst you are asleep. All right. For those of you that are interested, shut up, driver. I use Duracell batteries on some of my receivers, and these are rechargeables. You get 4 in a pack for the charger, and it seems to do well. I think they're 1200 milliamps. Okay, these are 1300 milliamp cells. And wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Got to get my reading glasses on, but 1300 milliamp on the charger. It's got the flip down 110 plug, and you can charge even numbers, 2 or 4 at a time. You can also take these out and flip down a tab. Maybe. Either way, it charges both AA's and AAA's. For crying out loud, I'm talking here. What the heck? I bought 3 sets of these, and I use one set in the realistic stereo mixer here. I believe it's a 9-volt set, and you can plug it in with a wall wart. But specifically, I'm using it for balancing out, a few scanners into some headphones. And I just repaired a audio mixer here. Well, kind of. Not really repaired by me, but technically make sure that it works. And it kind of works. I don't expect anything more than that, but for a particular radio, I'm using those cells in here. I keep a set charged, and in the particular black box here, and you can have, when these come in the box, they would provide you with a yellow rechargeable pack, chargers built in the radio, typically on one side there, and you could plug it in. I think this particular radio, when I bought it used, it came with a 12-volt car adapter here, and it already has the appropriate sized adaptable connector on it, which is here. If I didn't know any better, I can use it on the Pro 53 over there. Yes, the Pro 53 on the tower, and it's the car plug, they call it, car adapter, 12-volt lighter socket accessory adapter. Those things, they change over time, different titles, but that's what I use to top off some of these radios. This one specifically, I've got an older model, but I'm using off-brand type alkalines, and it's kind of the same setup. Pro 96, Pro 46, excuse me. It's analog only, 100 channels. This is what I started with a couple years ago, and I was specifically listening to the Railroad, but similar technology. It's the box is a little different, but I'm using Kroger labeled alkalines, and I don't use this radio a whole lot, but when I do, it's used for Railroad, and they only use about a half dozen channels here in this block, maybe less, but terrible audio on the speaker, so I use headphones. But then again, the whole point of this little conversation is that I have at least a backup set of radios for various services. This one's programmed for the Motorola business itinerant frequencies, and I could add more. It's got 200 channels on it, I think, maybe 3. It's actually 300 channels. It's actually a dual trunking radio, but we're beyond trunking systems now. So I just use the analog aspect of that radio for the, for instance, VHF and UHF Motorola frequencies for business itinerants and whatnot. And even so, some of the medical helicopters at night will use that VHF spectrum. I think it's 154, 4025, something like that. So it's a 12.5 kilohertz split, I think, or not necessarily split, you know. Anyways, 12.5 kilohertz. I don't think it's 25, but got that as standby. I can, power goes off, the station goes down. I still got a way to listen. Obviously, I can listen portable, but that's my go-to battery pack. Battery pack.
1719,
The Duracell batteries and the charger.
17 at Stratford Manor Incorporated. Engine 16. Altered mental status. 1719, Bellevue 8 Ridge, room 217, at Stratford Manor Incorporated. Cross streets are Hermitage Road and Name Road. On tap channel 2. Timeout, 11:26.
These are easily found on Amazon. Again, I bought 3, and the idea was to have a set in a device charged, so it can be going 1 or 2 sets in the chargers. This is the Duracell product, nickel metal hydride class 2 battery charger, and the input is 100 to 240 volts AC, 50 or 60 hertz, and 3 volts output, 2 or 4 AA's, or 2 or 4 AAAs. It's 360 milliamps for the 3-volt, and 360 milliamps for the AA's, and 100 milliamps for the AAA's. So it's a little interesting. But anyways, something to help me continue doing what I'm doing. And again, Duracell was always my pick. I didn't look at a whole lot of reviews. I went by this morning on the YouTube to look at what other people thought, and it seems like they included those a lot. And they put it up against something called was it Private Owl, Popular Owl? I don't know, something Owl, and they almost didn't seem to hold up to the Duracells. I think others put Amazons and other different labeled batteries against Duracells, and they didn't seem to hold up against Duracells. I also use energizers as well, and I've got some button cells for some of these memory backups on these radios, particularly these. But I do have other radios that might require them.
Difficulty breathing. 536, Topley Road. Cross streets are Fay Street and Decker Road. On tap channel 2. Timeout, 11:28.
You can get the 2032 button cell batteries on Amazon and other internet sites. And it's all 3 repeaters on the WA4FC FieldCom system. I love to hear it when they all identify at the same time on different bands. But anyways, 2032 button cells are readily available at your local retailers, and that's where I buy mine. I've been stocking up a little bit, couple packs of 9 volts, because I have just a few things that still run on 9 volts. For instance, this 49 megahertz radio, and it's an FM toy type radio, and it does have a 9 volt battery slot on the back. There's not one in there now, but that's where it belongs, and it tests out very well. And as is with any other transceiver here in this shack, I can hear myself. If I want to sit here and talk to myself all day long, I've got scanners I can hear myself with. But at the same rate, a few things to test with here and there. I do like the old tech.
Hanover EOC, EAC. EAC, go ahead. Message, 11:30.
Message.
From the EOC manager. All units, record your digital alarming dosimeter readings on Rec Form 1, Rec 1 forms. Repeat, digital alarm dosimeter readings record on Rec Form 1. Copy.
You better have. So at the same rate, older tech.
And Forest Jail. 84 INX.
Finally, it's been like hours since you've ID'd. 2-channel FRS radio. This thing houses 3 AA batteries, I think. I'm not going to open it, but it even appears to have the ability to drop in charger cradle. I don't have one of those. It just came with radio alone, but I used to use this. Occasionally talk to the better half in the other room. I'm using the Baofeng right now. I don't think there's any fresh batteries in here. But again, 2-channel radio, channels 8 and 12. This need to be some of the least busy channels on FRS and GMRS. You know, it's 500 milliwatts, I think, maybe less. That was the thing back then when it came out. And at the same rate, difficult to hear at any particular distance, which is the reason why I was using them indoors. But that's what the portable batteries, you know, the alkalines and the rechargeables. And I do want to invest in more rechargeable batteries, more nickel metal hydride. Most likely it's going to be Duracell. That's the way I prefer to do it. I don't know that the energizers are any better. They're comparable in price. Maybe try that later, but my absolute favorite is Duracell. And I've had alkalines come through here and other radios. I had one come in that was like this one, and it already had the batteries in it. Somebody had supplied the batteries. I guess they were testing it and forgot to pull them out before they shipped it, and they arrived here. And I used them till they were dead. So, absolute favorite Duracell, the copper top battery. This isn't sponsored. That's something I bought, and pretty much bought that without thinking. That was, already a decision made, and I wanted to have that for the backup radios, the portables, and whatnot, just in case. I've got big battery packs that are special ordered for the Radio Shack and Realistic HTX 202s and 404s. There's also a drop-in charger. I can put those in. That was manufactured by ICOM, BC53, I believe it is. But they all seem to be interchangeable with the Realistics, the Radio Shacks, the ICOMs, and even the Maxons. I found some model Maxon for GMRS, but I didn't get a chance to snag those. I'd like to have those for inclusion in the set. And I even talked to, I think it was Mr. David Wolf on Facebook a few times. He claims that he designed the HTX series after Maxon anyway, so it's more interchangeable with that than it is with ICOM. I think the battery packs are just a little different. I think they were designed to fit a little differently from the ICOM, although they do work pretty well with the ICOM. The IC2ATs and I think there's a 3AT for 220, kind of rare, and the 4AT for 70 centimeters. So they all kind of interchange, accessories interchange, antennas interchange. You could probably even get away with interchanging the cases, the radio shells themselves. I know the speaker mics, they're all interchangeable, same size pins, same distance between the pins, unless you find a couple that that they don't have the fixed pins. They're on a loose wire Y instead. That's not too uncommon. That's really more ideal if you wanted to interchange this and that, except for Baofeng. Not to discount them, but what I'm getting to is they have the K pins. I think that means Kenwood. The spacing's a little different, and the pins are backwards. So for what's microphone on Maxon and Radio Shack is actually speaker on Baofeng and other Chinese radios. The big pin is the microphone, and the small pin is a speaker on the Kenwood setup. Small pin microphone, big pin speaker on the Maxon ICOM. Different spacing. Didn't take long to figure that out, even 30 years ago, because obviously Kenwood and ICOM were different. As usual, there's plenty of videos out there and content providers that show comparisons for batteries and radios and such. I don't normally do that here. I just provide the examples of using this old tech to listen to modern day current events, current communication.
Going down and disappear. And right when you walk in, you'll see it where it needs to go.
I'd do the same thing for HF radio. I'm just not set up for it here. I did put the battery pack charger on top of the Radio Shack HTX 10, and I'm fairly well set up for that. I mean, I don't think it's, the power supply's off, but it's right there. I could just plug in the antenna and turn it on and probably use it here just as effectively as 11 meters. But it is so fun having an 11 meter radio here in the shack. Not only listening to truck drivers, but being able to talk to them. Having that experience, even over the road. Still lots of fun. All right. while we wait, why don't we Google dosimeter and find out what the devil that is. Maybe it was dosimeter. Hey, Google. Oh, come on. Where are you? Google, there you are. I don't normally talk to Google. Oh. There's dosimetrist. There's a badge. Dosimeter badge. Portable personal dosimeter is a product. Oh, there's some on Amazon. Radiation dosimeter on Amazon. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. Why are there... This is specifically not the time. Oh, for God's sake, are you done? Anyways, not the time to be discussing, especially not stating the fact this is a test, during a test, on the air, on a well-known repeater,
Engine 6,
in a major
Engine 13,
city.
Tower Ladder 5, and Battalion 1. Fire alarm. 117, South 14th Street, at the Watkins. Engine 6, Engine 13, Tower Ladder 5, and Battalion 1. Fire alarm. 117, South 14th Street, at the Watkins. Cross streets are East Canal Street and Dock Street. On Channel 2. Time out, 11:39.
She needs to learn to enunciate, or somebody needs to learn how to type so she can read it properly. A little training on the screen reader there, dispatch. Radiation detection monitors.
Hanover ESC, Hanover EAC.
This is a test.
EAC, go ahead. The evacuation bus has arrived at the EAC. Copy.
Oh. Maybe that's Jackson. I'm going to have to look that up. It's one of those young fellas. Anyways, not stating this is a test on the MRA at this time, this juncture in our current events, discussing radiation detection monitors, bus evacuations, contaminations.
For the fire alarm, calling about the alarm company.
Oh, God.
They're calling back to cancel. They said the alarm system should be on test around alarm 41.
I cannot express enough. Please say on the air, this is a test,
Battalion 1.
and your call sign when you sign, or when you're finished talking.
Assignment to the first two engines.
Copy. Engine 6 to continue 117 South 14th Street for Battalion 1 at 11:41.
The haters out there are just spinning around their eyebrows because of the lack of discipline and terminology, or the lack thereof.
Engine 17. Unconscious. 1424, Lynn Haven Avenue. Engine 17. Unconscious. 1424, Lynn Haven Avenue. Cross streets are Chesterland Avenue and Mimosa Creek Circle. On Channel 2. Timeout. 11:41.
Now that was a good screen read. It's interesting. Sometimes they'll say an address or a street. It's more often the street than anything else. And sometimes it just does not show up on Google Maps. Just out of the matter of interest of knowing what neighborhood that street's in. It's not that you go find these things and chase ambulances or anything. That's not the case. It's just I'm still kind of new to the area. I don't know where these streets are, what neighborhoods, how close they are. Sometimes they're right here. I know where I live, but there are certain streets out there that I've never heard of, don't know where they are, and I'm just curious. So I just try to pull them up on the Google Maps. Anyways, you're watching American Radio X-Ray, and we're listening to a test. This is a test on the Metropolitan Repeater Association, the MRA, the Metro Richmond City area here in Virginia. And this is supposed to be a test. That they're doing is they're having different emergency operations centers contacting one specific in Hanover County from different counties like Spotsylvania, Louisa, Caroline, and passing example stroke test messages back and forth. Got some good operators, seasoned operators, new operators. All right, so here, whoops, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. For those of you who are not taking the time to look this up, these are dosimeters, and they're pocket-sized. And you can order these on Amazon. And I imagine they're kind of weak. It's not something you take outside. Oh, look. These are kind of neat. Some badges. That's the badges that was made reference to earlier. You can wear it like a badge. One looks like a pager. Is that new technology? Anyways, it's kind of neat. Not something you want to take out with you right after a nuclear blast, I'm sure. Here's a handheld device. That's kind of cool. But dosimeters. That's for detecting radiation. I expect these are probably along the lines of maybe hospital grade when they're testing sensor equipment, or not just not for I mean like CAT scans and other devices, hospital devices for scanning that have some dealing with radiation. That's pretty neat. I've seen some, I think, at the not so recent 6-meter tailgate that we had back, I think it was in February, this spring, early spring, late winter. Had one on display there amongst the tables, and they had some, I guess, radioactive minerals of various types and of various strengths. But it was a pretty cool demonstration, I thought. And that's not really what I was in the market for. Just happened to be there and demonstration. That's pretty cool. And I've seen demonstrations on YouTube content providers, very much like, well, it was actually Canadian Prepper. Good presentation. Yeah, I watch guys like that occasionally for entertainment purposes only. And it was rather entertaining. They do all sorts of things. This is what you need to do to survive the SHTF. Okay. I'll take some advice with a grain of salt. Actually, I got a couple cans of salt and a couple bags of salt. So as much as I'll ever need on anybody's advice.
Richmond from Engine 6.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Engine 6.
That's her job.
They're doing some work in the elevator shaft, accidentally set the alarm off with some dust that they created. No hazards here. Engine 6 returning to service shortly.
First recap is 747.
Well, shame on you. I don't know if it's considered a waste of time. I mean, it's great that they come out and they check these things, false alarm or not. And more often than not, it's been maintenance, steam, dust, whatever. It sets off the sensors on these alarms, which I mean, they're sensitive enough. They're doing their job as far as sensors and detectors and whatever. Kind of have a bad habit myself. If I steam too much here in the kitchen, it'll throw the sensors on the smoke detectors here in the apartment, which are a good distance from the kitchen. Actually, one's in the hall, one's here in the bedroom, and they're connected. So when one goes off, the other one goes off. And to press one button or the other, sometimes you have to depress both buttons to get them to shut up. And they're loud, as they should be, but steam definitely does set those things off. I've experienced. I rarely burn food, but they do their job. They're interconnected with the system in the building, I'm sure. They're wired right in, but it's kind of isolated to the one apartment. And I'm sure that's for a reason being of there's an event in one apartment, they know where it is, but user serviceable, punch the button. Hey, I'm paying attention. It's not a fire. Don't call the fire department, please. I'm just learning how to cook. This is a test. Nothing to see here. So far, the city is calm for the lunch break. All is well. Everybody is snacking on their tacos and burritos and whatever it is they consume as a beverage. Probably on my third or fourth cup of coffee here, I guess.
Okay, Richmond, this is not going to be a cardiac arrest. It will likely be an overdose.
First recap.
Really? Was that Air Care calling Richmond? Did they bring in a helicopter? I don't hear that very often on the, at least not on the scanner radio app feed for Richmond Fire Department. Wow. Big city. Anything can happen at big city. Bigger than what I grew up in. What's that, driver?
Hanover EOC, Hanover EAC, message. Go ahead.
Aren't you in the same county?
1150, one individual on the evacuation bus tested for contamination. Individual was in seat 8. No others tested positive. Over.
How many individuals did you have? Ugh. Well, as long as we know this is a test. Yeah, 50 minutes into this video. I think this is hour number 3. Simulated emergency test. Metropolitan Repeater Association involvement. EACs, EOCs, various counties. Again, simulated emergency test, I guess. I don't know if this is an S.E.T or not, but it seems to be that way. We're monitoring here on the American Radio X-Ray. So thank you for joining us for this far. Ugh. I'm just as bad as they are. Thank you for joining us thus far. And I'm sure there's more to come. I don't know. I expect more. Isn't that somebody's slogan? Expect more. I forget who that is. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to stop this video and probably continue on a 4th hour. Doubt anything's going to happen of any excitement, but if you got this far, thank you very much. You know what to do. American Radio X-Ray. Anybody else? Nothing? All right.